All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here in the final match of the day in our Week 2 Michigan Pickleball League Season 1. I am host Alex Reuter, back on the mic after a brief hiatus there. Did a little Easter egg hunt with the kids outside. And next to me, I have the one and only Connor Mogul. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Alex. It's great to be with you. Looking forward to some great pickleball tonight. These two teams are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, so out here we have the Detroit Vipers, who had just got done playing against the Flint Tropics. We'll talk about these teams and all the players on the screen right now. We have some duper predictions. Man, that's a big discrepancy there, Connor. What are your thoughts on the difference between what Duper's predicting?
Yeah, it should be interesting. The duper margin, if you just look at the numbers, is kind of razor thin on the average duper, but the Vipers are given a really strong probability to win here. So it should be interesting. I think, if they're able to play to their strengths, Sophia's being a huge strength in the middle on her forehand, this match could go their way. But, yeah, it's going to be an exciting one to watch.
And Sophia, I think, is the only lefty out there, right?
Yeah, that's right. Only lefty in the whole match, so a little advantage in this women's, and then a huge advantage in mixed to have two forehands in the middle.
Yeah, we had seen that earlier with Sarita in the mixed doubles match. She was a big X factor, I think, in that. It was the first game today. I don't know if you were around yet for that one, but definitely having that woman on their forehand in the middle seems to be a big difference maker in terms of the mixed doubles. All right, so we're looking at one of our Flint Tropics ladies, Shannon. I tried these last names in Week 1, Connor. I don't believe I got them right. I'm not going to try them again. I don't know if you want to give a shot to that. But we have Shannon Pretorius.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're going to go with that. Or we'll go with Shannon. Duper rating, 5.168. I was really impressed by her game in that Week 1. She's a really, really solid player. She's sporting the Selkirk out there. It's a great paddle. What are your thoughts? What have you seen from her?
Yeah, Shannon's a great player. I've watched her quite a bit on the APP tour. Women's singles champion, actually, in Columbus last year for the APP. So definitely has a lot of game. Really strong off both wings from the baseline. But should be fun to watch.
Oh my! If you thought the last name was difficult, we have a little feature here for Molly, and just as Shannon was super impressive, Molly was as well in that first week, and I'm really excited to see what she's got here in Week 2. She's got the Proton that she's sporting out there. What do you like about her game?
Yeah, super good off the dink from what I saw last week. So really valuable in both women's and mixed. It's going to be a tough matchup for who's ever dinking cross court with her. She really likes to sink her teeth into that dink.
And our aforementioned lefty, Sophia, duper rating 5.26 from Berkeley, Michigan. What do you think the keys to success for Sophia are going to be today?
Yeah, I think just what we were talking about, Alex, using her forehand in the middle is a big advantage for her. If she can move through the court, hitting a nice drop and then moving in quickly to take advantage of any high balls that come through the middle will be key for her.
And Jessica, last of the four here, duper rating. I think this is the highest one. 5.4?
Yeah, that's right.
5.45.
Yeah, Jessica, really good off the dink again. Super solid backhand. It'll be interesting to see her play the left. I think she prefers to play the left in women's doubles, so definitely really good off the dink on her backhand side.
Is that more a at the kitchen line comfort, or do you think it's transition at the baseline?
I think it's both, but I think definitely more so at the kitchen line for her.
Now, is that because she favors her backhand dink, or because she's comfortable hitting forehand out of the air in the middle?
I think it's just favoring the backhand dink is the biggest thing for her.
All right, we're about to get started here. Chris is getting loud on the bench for the Tropics. First serve. That fell in. Good first point there.
Yeah, it's key to get off to a good start in these rally scoring games.
Wow. That's a really impressive roll dink on that. A lot of good spin.
It's really nice. She stayed nice and low all the way through that dink.
What's the trick to that after this point?
Yeah, I think it's just staying low all the way through the ball. It's really easy to pop up and just kind of want to see where that ball's going.
Key side out there by the Vipers. Wow, unbelievable point there by Molly staying with that.
Yeah, nobody home in the middle there for the Vipers. Definitely something to keep an eye out for as she's hit a nice winner and then one through the middle too.
Good power from the lefty. So a 1-point game. What do you think of side out versus rally scoring after this point? Good
Nice
overhead there by Sophia. And I guess I'll broaden my question. Just pickleball in general, philosophy, side out versus rally scoring.
Wow, what a shot. Yeah, I think it's really important in the rally scoring to be more aggressive than you would be in side out scoring, just because every point counts so much. What a shot.
Interesting choice to go down the middle there with two forehands, but it worked out.
Nice ball there. Yeah, to go down the middle against Detroit here, you really have to find the shoulder of the player that's right in front of you if you're Flint. Nice serve there.
Just push the serve just a little far on that one. 3-point game. She wanted the Ernie. Keep it going. Oh, did that go in?
It was in, yeah. Caught the sideline there. Really nice two-handed backhand.
Really solid point all around. You know, I struggle, and I'll finish this thought here in a moment. We'll see how this point ends. Oh, come on, Nat. So just finishing my thought there, I struggle with a lot of things, but in particular what I was talking about was trying to determine what's a big lead in rally scoring. Because it's, you know, in side-out scoring, it's kind of easy to feel what a big lead is. Oh, good shot there. But in rally scoring, things can change so quickly. So in your mind, like, what would feel like a big lead to you? Like, how many points?
Gosh, for me, in the last match, I thought we had a big lead and it wasn't big enough. It felt not big enough. puts that away there.
Is it one of those things where you always have in the back of your mind they can turn this around so quickly?
Yeah. I think the biggest.
So we have a three-point lead here. We're going to do an end change at 11. She get there. She does.
Great effort there.
Yeah, good. That's just a smart pickleball there by Detroit.
Yeah, getting the end change is so important in this format. It's just a little short.
Why so? What's the big differentiator
I think it's just
there?
a huge momentum swing to get the end change. See if Flint can do that here.
Great job getting back to the kitchen. And to get the point.
Really nice athleticism there from Shannon. Yeah, it's so important to get the end change, I think. Just gets a little bit of momentum. But going back to your big lead question, I think 10 points in this is like, you're feeling pretty good.
And that sounds astronomical in side-out scoring, right?
Right. Yeah,
I mean, at 10 points, I'm starting to play around with my serve a little bit and,
right.
and do crazy things.
Mess around. Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that in this format. And I think, one of the things that I was preaching to our team earlier was when you're up big, you really got to focus in. When you lose a point and the other team's serving, just try to go for that return, rip that return, see if you can get the ball back, because you just keep tacking on when you can win those easy points on the return.
Yeah, I can imagine, too, that having the ball in your serve requires a little bit more focus and I wouldn't say being careful, but certainly being aware of the fact that if you miss the serve, it's going to be a point for the other team, as opposed to just, ball goes to my partner or it's side out.
Yep.
Great defense there by Shannon. That was impressive.
Great point from Molly there. Super high margin drops on those, Alex. I mean, you can just see how high those are going over the net, not cutting it close at all.
Just too much there.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you if you were going to expect a timeout here, because that would have been almost a 7-point difference, but now we're down to 6. Or 5, rather. Now we're 6.
Sailed on her. Great point. Yeah, you can see Jessie kind of moving to her right there a little bit and playing to that backhand where most players would kind of slide to their left and play to the forehand, and it works out for her there.
Is that a conscious decision she's making ahead of time?
I think so.
Good spot there towards the middle.
Really nice. Nice and low. Again, stayed super low through that two-hander.
Looping serve. It's going to drop. She was ready for the Ernie. Flint's just doing a great job of getting back to the kitchen. What do you think is contributing to their ability to win these points?
Yeah, I think it's just.
And we do have that timeout. Flint has managed to force Detroit to take a timeout here at a 7-point lead. So back to my question, What are you seeing out there in terms of what Flint's able to do to get this big of a lead?
Their decision making is just so good right now. They're making really nice high margin drops getting into the net, but then when the ball comes up, they're taking advantage of it and ripping it. And it sounds easy, but sometimes, you know, you hit a ball that you shouldn't hit too hard into the net or make stupid errors out there. But Flint's doing a great job of just their decision making is impeccable right now.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of pressure on Detroit when Flint's not making very many errors. I hate to see that.
If you're Detroit right now, what are you telling your girls to turn things around?
Telling them to clean up the errors a little bit, and then maybe try to play even a little bit more aggressive.
All right. Well, the timeout worked. I don't know if it was the timeout, but something changed. They got the ball back.
They usually don't hurt.
Flint's going to want this right back. Let's see. Oh,
what a shot from Molly.
Just high IQ pickleball right there.
Yeah, that was just a chess match out there, and Molly made a nice finishing shot cross court.
Yeah, she didn't feel the need to try and do too much with that at all.
Yeah.
Just found the open spot. Yeah. The first lob didn't work, and they were kind of stuck there after that.
Yeah, if you can't push your opponent too far off the line with the lob, it's not going to work out too well for you usually.
I don't think I've ever seen you lob. Have you ever tried to lob? Are you a lob person?
Generally not. It's probably something I need to get a little bit better on off the dink. Just wide on the sideline over there.
I think she had the ATP regardless.
Yep.
The lob that I see a lot is almost a defensive lob. You don't really see too many like strategic or offensive lobs, which I feel like should be incorporated a little bit more sometimes.
Definitely agree. I think the offensive lob can be effective if you're hitting a dink out of the air.
Yeah.
If you can hit one out of the air and throw up a lob that way, I think it's good, but not too many off the bounce.
All right, we got a 5-point difference here. Detroit's going to need to put together a little run and make this close match here at the end. See if they can do it. Ooh. That was a really good serve that was beaten by an even better return.
Yeah, right on the line there on the serve. And
all right. They needed that one. They still have the freeze at 20. The Vipers do. Wow.
Great combination there from Jessie.
Yeah, she was definitely ready for that.
Yep. Key to be able to go from the backhand to the forehand.
What's she swinging over there? What pedal is that?
I think it's a Rogue. I'm not too familiar with that brand.
She's playing well with it.
Yep.
Wow. Just not trying to do too much, forcing an error, and has forced a timeout. What an absolute shift in momentum here.
For sure, and just as Flint was doing early in the match, Sophia, a nice couple high margin drops there and earns them the point. That's what they need to keep doing here. I think Detroit, if they minimize the errors, has a little bit of momentum right now. They can swing this thing back to their favor.
Yeah, these close matches at the end get really interesting with the freeze. And then it kind of, ends up negating itself when you have both teams reaching 20, and it kind of just turns into side-out scoring again.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like, or it seems like it's so easy to get a lead in these rally scoring matches, but then it's so hard to close them out. It's just totally different than side-out scoring in that regard too, because you are totally stopped until you can get a point on your serve, which is not the easiest.
All right, here we go. See if we can get a tie ball game. They need to get back to the kitchen. Oh.
Great point from Flint there. Chris is fired up on the bench.
Yeah, I've seen that from him quite a bit. He's a big energy guy. We got game point here. They've done it. They have taken game one of this match. Big momentum builder for the Flint Tropics. What did you see at the end that allowed them to come out on top?
Yeah, just really consistent play, both from the net and the baseline, I think, the whole match from Flint. Yeah, Shannon stayed through some nice two-handers, and then Molly just was relentless with the forehand dink. So really good on that.
Yeah, it almost seemed like that last point was a little nervy, for lack of a better word. I mean, I think the Detroit team was feeling the pressure that the Flint Tropics were able to impose on them. All right, so coming up we have men's doubles. Connor.